It's Tuesday. You know what that means? Just a bit outside radio show live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Share that link, share that love. Thank you for joining us each and every week as we take a wild look at the wild world of sports. You got Mark, you got Keisha. Keisha, how is it going?
What's going on, outsiders? We've got our formal wear on and we're ready to dance this week. NCAA tournament is going to be lit. I mean, especially if you base it off of these conference tournaments over the weekend, man. We had a ball chopping it up on the college basketball tip, didn't we?
Yeah, this season I haven't watched much just, because of what I get. But, like, this weekend was just some amazing basketball. And you just hope that carries through the tournament.
I think it does, man, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in respect to the selections of the top four number one teams.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. But before we do talk any sports, we're gonna go just a bit outside and wish everybody, a very favorite holiday of mine, Happy Pi Day. We talk about it every year, especially since we often do slices of the week, which we haven't done in a while, Mark. We gotta find some new pizza spots to hit.
Hell yeah, I'm sure.
But Pi Day is because of the mathematical, I guess I don't want to say term, but it is like a term. Slash number 3.14, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And, the government, had to make a little fun out of math and out of the whole concept and everything. And deemed today National Pie Day. So there are a lot of places out there that are offering specials on pizzas, or if you have a sweet tooth, pies as well.
Yep.
But, Mark and I, we woke up with a hankering for pizza, of course. And I mean, we were at it early. It was like, what, 10:30 when we started talking about pizza?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we were really trying to get it in. And, in previous years, there's lists of places that participate that they put out. But it just seemed like this year, they kind of fell off with the pie game, Mark.
Especially locally. Like, there's like the big places.
Yeah.
But, Blaze and Pie 5, they left the area, so those places are out.
Yeah, rest in peace and shout out to Blaze, man. LaBooty James's chain was one of my favorites when it came to pizza. They used to have one downtown by the marketplace that I used to, frequent, because that's, my area where I work and everything. And so that when it closed down, so then we were going out to Towson out there with the college kids, but when we just found out today that location closed down. So, I shed a few thug tears for the pizza chain, man. That really hurt me to my heart.
Yeah, like when I realized Pie Day was coming up, I was thinking, oh, Blaze, they always got that good deal. It's always in the app, so you can order it, and then find out it's closed. That was shocking.
Did you ever try their pizza?
Yeah, we went there one time. Remember?
Oh, did we go? Okay, all right. I can't remember if we ever went there. But, I actually have a funny story about, that particular Blaze in Towson and AM Pie Day. So last year, like I said, it's one of my favorite chains. And, I had the app and I get the notification, and me and, my cousins, my family, I get everybody to, agree to meet at the Blaze Pizza in Towson at some ignorant hour. It might have been 7 p.m., straight prime time.
Yeah.
So we show up to the Blaze Pizza, and the freaking line was just completely out of control.
Was it?
Yes. I mean, this is actually a horrific story because, I was going to go to Blaze. My plan was, because of my experience last year, to be the first person there today. But the line was insane. It was out it was going outside of the door. It was wrapped around the pizza joint. It was complete pandemonium in there. They didn't have any type of order, no method to the madness.
Yeah.
Because you had the online orders coming in. You had the the third party deliveries like Grubhub and Slice, like, you know, it was so crazy. Like, yo, I swear to God, Mark, we stayed in line for an hour and 45 minutes.
What?
Yes, I am not lying to you, because after you reach a certain point, you can't leave, yo. You're just fully invested and you're just there. You just can't leave. So we stayed the full 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then when it finally got to our turn to get our pizzas, yo, one of our pizzas was wrong.
No.
Dude, I almost lost my shit in there for real. They were trying to calm me down and everything. It was so insane, like so insane. So, and you know, it was just such a horrible experience. And those poor kids, like, I swear to God, every man, woman, and child came to that. I'm pretty sure there's a super rush going on right now as we speak.
Oh, for sure. Like,
you know.
Could you imagine if you stepped up to the counter, they're like, "Yeah, we're out of pepperoni."
Oh man. No, I have not. And you know, that's my favorite topping. So if I ever, you know, I don't know what I'd do if I ever came across that type of situation. Where did you get your pizza today, man?
I did not get any pizza.
You did not get any pizza? Oh, man.
Might, you know, I didn't do the dinner.
The night's still young, dog. Night's still young.
Yeah.
I got my pizza from Pasta Mista, spot out in Kent. Big shout out to them, man. It was slamming. You know, I had some fries to go along with it to complete my fat girl meal. It was glorious. I had it right there at noon. I put the order in as soon as they opened up. It was great. It was great though. So yeah, happy party, outsiders, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoy some pizza tonight. And if you'd like, man, go ahead, shout out your favorite pizza places on the feed there, and give Major Keisha Mark some recommendations for new spots to go to. And, you know, we love our pizza. I love my pizza. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Go ahead.
Do you have T-Mobile for your carrier?
You said what? Yeah, T-Mobile, yeah. Uh-huh.
So today's Tuesday. They got their T-Mobile Tuesday special
yeah.
in the app. I did see, like, if you go to the app and you save the deal, you have until the 20th to use it. $3.14 pizza at Little Caesars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something like Papa John's,
no.
Which nobody wants to eat, you know. But Little Caesars, I can do Little Caesars.
Hell yeah, right?
You know, yeah. Can get the little crazy bread along the way. I love that place.
I ain't gonna lie, $3.14 is good anywhere. I'll eat Papa John's even.
Man, you know, I actually thought about it until it was like this: buy one, then get the second one. I was like, oh hell no. Y'all gonna have me stuck with two of these joints, and you know, like I know I'm gonna get shit for this. I know I am. But I thought about it like 3 times. Like $3.14. Do I want to go to 7-Eleven?
Yo, 7-Eleven has good pizza. I'm not gonna lie. They got good pizza.
Man, it just makes you feel like you're just like a half a step up from gas station pizza, dog. You know what I mean? But yo, off the late night, you know, off the bar run, off the happy hour, yo, you can definitely do it. You can definitely do a 7-Eleven pizza.
Yeah, they're
sure.
good. Yeah, I've gotten one, like the whole pizza. Just get it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So again, happy Pride Day, y'all. We love it. Let's keep it moving. Going on around town, yo. Like we said, the madness is in full effect. You know, they got everything. You know, they got everybody in the mood. They got everybody salivating after these conference tournaments this weekend. Man, I mean, drama. You know, it seems like Alabama has all the drama on their side. You know, with this murder case, and then, you know, being number 1 seed. Oh man, Kansas got a lot of drama going down. I mean, Houston took an L to Memphis. I mean, everything was just insane over the weekend. And oh my gosh, you know, I'm saving. I might have to save y'all. You know, y'all are best for last. Pac-12 conference championship between UCLA and Arizona. Man, that game was insane too.
Now, Keisha.
Huh?
Real quick before you get any further, there's a question in the comment.
Okay, sure.
It's going back to the pizza.
Okay.
But I know you want to speak on this.
Okay.
Y'all want Little Caesars over Papa John's? That's Jay Hunger.
Oh shit! We about to have a real debate here. We about to have a real debate. Who said this? Thank you so much. Who said this?
Jay Hunger.
Hey, what's up, Jay, my man? Okay, so let's start this debate. We might have to have a people's poll, little mini people's poll right now. Okay, yes, me personally, I will take Little Caesars over Papa John's any day. It's just something about Papa John's. They're just gross to me. Absolutely gross. I'm gonna have to put my vote down for Little Caesars. Mark, which one do you prefer?
Before I answer that, you're gonna get mad and probably try to strangle Jay through the computer monitor.
What do you say?
That tracks for Ravens fans. LOL.
I don't know, man. I stand firm on my selection. I think I'm gonna have the data. The results are gonna be on my side. I mean, it's between the two. Mark, what do you got? Papa John's or Little Caesars?
Yeah, like Little Caesars, they stepped up their game the last 5 years or so.
What? And they've been around a lot longer. Hell yeah.
I mean, Papa John's, I will say their crust is good, but I think there's a lot of stigma with them still from their ex-owner.
Yeah.
And their toppings, like, they went downhill too. So
the cheese and the sauce to me is just not good.
Yeah.
And we recently got that like Little Caesars got that half and half special with the sticks on one side and the pizza on the other. Man, you can't beat that joint, yo. We smashed. Anybody else out there? We got a people polls question for tonight. What do you prefer, Papa John's or Little Caesars? That is a great question. That's a great question. Shout out to my man Jay. He always coming through. And you know what? That shot about the Ravens, well noted, bro. I'm tucking that. Yeah. Back to the March Madness. Do we have any other comments on the pizza before I move on?
The professor says, I don't care how many commercials Shaq does. Shaq's an owner though, so he's invested.
Yeah. Okay. So does he likes Little Caesars over
He's picking Little Caesars teams, yeah.
You just can't trust those people up in Ohio. I don't think they know pizza.
Indiana. Indiana.
Oh, he's in Indiana? Oh, okay, all right. He's just a Bengals fan. Christ almighty. Yeah. All right, well, shit, even better. You definitely can't trust the people in Indiana either. They don't know nothing about no pizza.
Stealing football teams overnight.
Oh, yeah. That's we need to talk about that with Jana.
He asks, do y'all have Donatos? That's not a chain I'm familiar with.
No, I think that's in the Midwest. We don't have that out there, Jay. We don't have that out here. I think that might be a Midwest thing. And there's another one that I see often on sports programs. Marco's?
Marco's, yeah.
We don't have that either, but I see so many. I'm intrigued by it because I see so many so many commercials doing sports programming for the chain.
I did look it up once. I think there's like one in Annapolis or DC or
really?
Something. Yeah, there's one not too far, but not close.
Yeah, we used to have CC's too, but they eliminated all of those as well.
Closed. Yeah.
Yeah, and Baltimore, it seems like we're pizza snobs around here, man. Like, it seems like, and not only are we pizza snobs, but when we're talking about chains, we definitely ain't about that chain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we about the mom and pop joints. Like, we just talked about how there's several chains. I mean, honestly, you can't find a Pizza Hut downtown. And I believe there's like one Domino's. The pizza chains just really they're not a big thing around here. We're all about supporting local and small business. And quite frankly, they taste better.
Yeah. You got to get that place that got the pizzas and the cheesesteaks. And for like the real Baltimore flavors, the ones that actually carry cream of crab, because not all of them do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Back to basketball.
Okay, basketball. No more pizza, guys.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 playing games tonight, right?
Yep.
We got 2 playing games tonight, 2 playing games tomorrow. The very first of the 2 playing games are actually going down right now. We got Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Southeast Missouri State. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, it's like the longest acronyms in ever.
Right, both of them though. I was looking at I was looking at it earlier today, like, Christ, am I gonna spicy this? But yeah, so that's going down right now. Both teams very happy to be in the situation that they are in. This particular matchup, this is a matchup of 2 16 seeds, correct?
Are they 16?
Yes, they are. They are 2
Yep.
16
Yeah.
2 16 seeds. Battling to go into the big show, which starts on Thursday. We just for shits and giggles, Mark. Who you got in this particular matchup?
I'm not familiar enough with either one of them, so I really wouldn't know. I know I looked at the the bracket challenge. It gives you info and everything.
Yeah.
And I think I gave the edge to Texas A&M, but
I did as well.
I don't know shit about either team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Texas A&M, they kind of been a little bit. They got the, to me they have the edge because I'm always big about how teams finish going into the big dance, the big tournament,
Yeah.
right? What type of level are you playing in? Are you coming in off a high note? To me, that's always very big. Before quote unquote, this is basically like postseason type play. And that I carry that type of theory across the board with all sports. All right, Texas A&M, they've been doing really well. They have a young man on the team, Mushila, who has been balling out. I mean, he's balling right now. He's forward for Corpus Christi. He's got 9 points right now, and they're putting it to Southeast Missouri State. I'm looking for them to come out on top because, like I said, they're the one that's had the momentum, the greater momentum going into these playing games. The score is right now 20-26 Corpus Christi in the first quarter. 5 minutes left to go. Hopefully that will continue, and that's going to be the first easy money pick of the night, man. Texas A&M, I take them on the money line because again, I'm the same as Mark. I'm not going to act like I'm a super guru on these playing games. I just think that Texas A&M has the edge. So you go ahead and book those guys on the money line. They're currently up right now.
Easy money pick on the first 4 game. That's ballsy.
Yeah, I like it. Let's talk about the second game too. This is a battle of 11s. We got Pittsburgh and Mississippi State. There are some people out there that are picking Mississippi State to be a bit of a sleeper and a Cinderella team this tournament. I'm not 100% convinced because I have watched a little bit of Pittsburgh play. Since they're part of the ACC tournament, I'm a big Duke fan. So, I have to make sure I'm paying attention and sizing up the competition. Do you have any knowledge, or have you paid much attention to that 11 seed matchup, Mark, enough to pick a winner?
Again, not too familiar with the teams.
Yeah.
I know Pitt had some burn there towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And they hung with Miami, I think it was.
Yes.
Took it to overtime.
Yes.
And they were ranked not too long ago. I think I saw 16. So I think Pitt's looking pretty good. First tournament in 8 years or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love that, right?
I think I'm gonna go Pittsburgh on this one.
Hey, I'm with you. For all of those reasons, Mark. I mean, we're on the same page with that one. Definitely. I'm not going to make this an easy money pick because I think this game is it really could go either way. 'Cause like I said, there's some people out there that believe Mississippi State will win this game tonight and then shake a little something in the days ahead. Um, but I too like to give the edge to Pittsburgh. I watched it. I watched the ACC tournament. I watched a lot of ACC basketball over the weekend, and it looked pretty decent to me. Yeah. So there you have it. Those are 2 picks on that for tonight. Do you want to do tomorrow's games?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's go ahead. Let's do that.
Unless you plan on doing it
tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we have the first game is oh man, I really don't know about these two. Fair Dickinson versus Texas Southern. This is also again a battle of 16 seeds. Fair Dickinson's Knights is trying to get in. They've had 19-15 record season. Texas Southern is not as great. Texas Southern is part of the SWAC, and the Dickinson Knights is part of the NEC. To make this pick, I would actually go with who is the stronger conference between the two. And I'd have to. I want to say the SWAC for real.
Possibly, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and and I'm thinking about it. Even though this is a 50-50 toss up too, as far as picks in the nation are concerned. The slight edge goes to Fair Dickinson. You got a pick on this one, man? I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not have a pick on either one of these teams. This is like so low on my totem pole of attention. I really don't have a pick for this one. But do you have one?
Look, all I know is Texas Southern is 14-20, and how they got into the dance was winning their tournament.
Yeah.
So, I can't see them going far. Fairleigh Dickinson's going to get this one.
Okay. I mean, and that's fair. And like I said, I mean, when you win, that's the importance of winning the conference championships, because that can really, give you a serious boost and get you an opportunity to go to the big dance.
Exactly.
So big dude. All right. So the second one, you may be a little more familiar with, which is also tomorrow. This is the second battle of number 11s. We got Nevada and Arizona State. We know that those Sun Devils are, in your area. I'd have to say, I guess across the way from your beloved Wildcats. Do you think they have what it takes to get it done against, pretty decent Nevada team,
You want me to talk about the Scum Devils?
Come on, man, you gotta do it.
First off, let me congratulate you on how you pronounce Nevada, because everyone is picky about that. People that live there, they're like, you pronounce it this way. You pronounce it the right way. No.
Wait a minute, hold on, let's back that up. What's the other option? What are other?
Most people say Nevada.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, let me just go ahead and say that is the most countryest ass shit pronunciation that I've ever heard. But I guess I could see that. I can see that. I can honestly see some people here saying it, because we can get a little country sometimes here in the 410 as well.
I think 99% of the people say it that way.
All right. So, okay. So, Scum Devils versus Wolfpack. What are we talking about?
I'm not too familiar with the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
But I know ASU's actually looked pretty good. I believe they actually beat Arizona. Their two matchups. just based on familiarity alone, I'd actually take the Sun Devils. They're a scrappy team.
Yeah, a lot of people have them also circled on their brackets as to make a little stink, make a little run in this year's tournament. So I'm gonna go with you, Mark. I mean, you're the expert on everything that is Arizona. How can I go against you? Real life, man, real life. So that's our first four. We're gonna move on. Do you want to talk about let's talk about the women because they're pretty much already kicked off. I think they have today. Did they play their first four games already?
The ladies, I don't think so.
Well, maybe they start after the guys. I thought they started before.
Tomorrow.
Okay, they start tomorrow. All right, so they start after the guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mark and I took a look at the brackets. And speaking of which, we do have a bracket challenge going on again this year. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But, we were taking a look at the brackets and cutting up today offline, and we happened to see that possibly, the Maryland Terrapins could face the Arizona Wildcats. The Lady Turks, they've been doing pretty good. They've been doing pretty good.
They've looked really good at times.
I think that this possible matchup is very intriguing, man. I mean, how do you like the chances of these two teams colliding in this year's tournament?
I fill out a women's bracket and I got them meeting. It's a 2 and a 7 seed. Maryland's the 2.
Yeah.
My heart's with Arizona, but being a 2 is going to be hard. I wouldn't be surprised if Maryland moves on, but them matching up, absolutely going to happen.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. And dare I ask you, who do you have coming out of that matchup if it goes down?
Who do I have? In my official brackets, of course, I picked Arizona, but that was like a homer kind of thing to do. I see Maryland moving on.
Okay. All right. Since we're talking about the women, let's talk about these top four, these four top number one seeds. Of course, we got Dawn Staley and South Carolina Gamecocks. We've got Indiana, who has, that's a controversial pick for real. We also have Stanford and Virginia Tech. Okay. So, there's been a lot of debates about number one seed, particularly Stanford and IU. For real. I think we all can say that, South Carolina, they've been pretty solid. Virginia Tech, looking at their bracket, of course, Gino might have a little something to say about his selection coming in number 2 underneath Virginia Tech. But how do you feel about these four number ones? Do you think somebody got slighted?
I don't know. That's always tough to judge, really.
It really is.
I know some people were saying UConn even deserved being a number 1.
Yeah.
Stanford, maybe they got the number 1 based on their last couple years because they have been pretty damn dominant. But
I heard some pretty good things about Iowa this season.
Yeah. I don't know. I got Stanford winning it all anyway. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now you got Stanford coming out. That means, I gotta say, South Carolina, they're coming out of their bracket.
Oh
yeah. Indiana, they might have a hard time. I mean, you've got some heavy hitters in there. You've got Utah, who's been doing really well. You also working with, Villanova, LSU, who's also in that bracket. They have been banging tremendously with Baltimore owns Angel Reese. she's like the double queen of the year. I mean, just really killing it. I mean, and killing it on the boards. I mean, dare I say it, she might even be playing better than her brother, Julian Reese, who plays for the Maryland Terrapins. Do you know anything about Angel Reese? Did we talk about her on the show?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so let me give you the Angel Reese story. So her and her brother Julian Reese, they went to St. Francis Academy here in Baltimore. Okay, Angel Reese is, I believe she's like a year or two older than Julian. So she went to University of Maryland first. Julian came shortly thereafter. They were both playing for the Maryland Terrapins. Things went down. The portal, we have the birth of the portal, which just basically means that, a college student can become a free agent and leave whenever they feel like it, kind of deal. And she made that decision. She made the decision to go and play at LSU and basically blew the hell up. So big shout out to Angel Reese. I believe this year she broke LSU's double record. They have a hungry team. They talked a lot about her and her attitude. They said, this is really crazy that we are saying this in 2023, that she was not, quote unquote, ladylike on the basketball court. What the hell ever that means, because she, quote unquote, talks too much trash, or is a little too hardcore with her trash talking. And she's fully 4-0. You know what her response was?
What's that?
That's Baltimore basketball, baby. She did not back down easy. She did not back down. She's like, I'm not out here to be a quote unquote lady on the court. I'm out here to get wins. I'm out here to grab these boards. I'm out here to be bigger than anybody else out there. And I love the attitude. I love it. She did not back down easy. So they're going to be trying to stake their claim in that bracket as well. So I think of all the teams, I really do think that Indiana U is they're gonna have the toughest time. Virginia Tech, I feel like their biggest adversary is UConn. Like we talked about that before. Stanford, we got Iowa, and South Carolina. You got Maryland, you got Arizona. That could be a tough one too. I mean, these two top corners of the bracket for the women. I mean, they did some tough matchups. These might be two of the more exciting brackets out of the four.
Definitely,
in my opinion. Hell yeah. So let's just move on to the men.
Let me drop a sleeper on you for the women's too.
Oh yeah, sure. Please do. And hold on, Mark. Before you do that, I know we do have a lot of outsiders out there that follow women's college basketball. Please put your sleepers out there, put your locks, your Cinderellas, whatever you want to do. Put them out there, and we'll shut them out and talk about them.
Jay says Indiana IU will choke. It's the Indiana school curse.
Yeah.
The professor says if she develops a mid-range game, she will be the number one pick in the WNBA next year.
Talking about Angel Reese,
yeah.
I totally agree with you. And she only needs to work on. I mean, it only needs to get like a little bit better. Like, I don't think it's horrible. I really feel like she has a complete game, and the best thing about her is just her hunger, man. I mean, she is a serious beast out there on the floor. Agreed.
Yeah. The professor asks, are we doing a women's bracket challenge this year? No, just because I think the last time I did one, like, no one joined.
Yeah.
I might share out my picks just so we can all look and laugh at me as I get it all wrong.
I'll be doing one as well. And what we'll do is, Mark, in the next weeks ahead, we'll dedicate, a segment to this show to our women's brackets, our picks, and how we're doing with that. And we'll chop it up with you guys. And talk about your picks as well. So, I mean, we encourage you to do it at home because we will be talking about that on the show in the next couple of weeks. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool.
He also says South Carolina is running through everybody, and this is where my sleeper comes in.
He's going to go with Arizona. I knew it. Come
Um,
on, let's do it, man. I love it.
I really, really like Creighton in the women's brackets.
Oh, really?
Creighton,
Okay.
they've looked really good. Like the last month or so, they got some quality wins, and I think they're a sleeper to watch out. Will they beat South Carolina? Probably not. But
Mhm.
if there's a chance South Carolina goes out early, it's going to be to Creighton, like Sweet 16.
Yeah, they're gonna cause a stink, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And how about that for an unlikely suspect, the unusual suspect?
Yeah, yeah. They're like a 6, so it's like unassuming.
Yeah, they hit that a 6. They hit that 6. I like it. I like it. You know, I love the unusual suspects, man. I love them. I love them.
Jay says he'd sign up to watch me get everything wrong. Jay, we have a men's bracket challenge on the show page. You better join up.
Yes, yes. And as a matter of fact, now is the best time to go ahead and talk about that before we get into the different teams. Why don't you give everybody a little information on our the Jabo tournament challenge this year that we put on through ESPN?
Yeah, it's through the ESPN app. There is it's a private group, so there is a password and a name. It's all right there on the pin post on the Jabo show page. Go there, click the link, sign up. I think I did allow for 2 brackets per person if you want to do 2.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, is it the first time we did that?
Maybe.
Did we do it last year? I think we did it last year.
Maybe we did too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you got at least up to 2 entries per person.
Yeah. So sign up, make a couple of brackets, and not laugh at me, Jay.
Yeah. Hey, and you know we got to shout out last year's tournament winner, Harry, the professor up in the building. Like, yo, big shout outs. And again, we will be doing it again this year. Jabo will be buying the pie and the beer. So, you know, it's free to sign up. Go ahead, jump on the show page, grab that information for the ESPN site. They have apps on your phone. You can do it on the web. You sign up. See if you got it takes to beat the Jabo squad. And not just the Jabo squad, but last year's champ. You know, Big Harry Holland. Yeah, big shout out. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this men's bracket. You know, there was some people had a lot to say about every year it's the same thing every year. Something to say about these top 4 number 1 seeds. Yeah. So we have Alabama, which I said, you know, seems like the dramatic team of the year with all of the stuff going on and off the court. We got Alabama up there. We got Houston up there, who a lot of people believe is the best team in the country. But, you know, I really didn't like how they finished with their tournament, their conference tournament. Didn't like what I saw there, man. We got Purdue. They are legit. We got Kansas. You know, some people got a lot to say about Kansas as well. I mean, you know, this again. We have some teams up in here that for real, you know, we have come accustomed to. I mean, it hasn't been regular, but it has happened. We have seen number 16 knock out number 1s, and 15 knock out number 2s in the past couple of years. And I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to happen again this year. I'm not really sure which team or which matchup it will be. But, you know, there are always first-round upsets, bracket busters, and you can best believe that it will happen again within the first 4 days.
It's so hard to pick that 12 beating the 4, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes you almost have to be like, for the sake of law of averages, go with that 12 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, it's like some of these 12 seeds, Virginia, VCU, okay? Oral Roberts against Duke, Duke was looking real decent in the ACC tournament. But you know, they could do something. They could win those games.
Yeah.
What's another one? I don't think Drake's gonna do anything against Miami, and I also think San Diego State University is safe as well. But you know, those are 2 matchups those could be some bracket busting joints right there. But Mark, how do you feel about the 4 number ones?
This is that point where, like, you know, you're just glad you're not on the selection committee because those people
Yeah.
get so much shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they feel like they did the right thing.
Yeah.
Sunday night after the selections were made, I took the boy to drop him off, and I was listening to the radio, and
Yeah.
they had this NCAA selection guy on the show talking about making these selections, and it was so crazy because he was talking about Houston, and he said, yeah, they lost their conference tournament, lost it there in the final, but they were down a starter that was taken into consideration, so they still got the number one. And I swear to God, like in the very next question, he was kind of talking about the same thing about other teams, and said, they take everything into consideration, and some of these teams didn't win their conference tournament, so they couldn't get the number one. I was like, dude, you just said the opposite about Houston.
Yeah.
So, like, Arizona beat UCLA in one of the best conference championship games I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Agreed.
UCLA had 2 double-digit win streaks this year.
Yes.
Both ended by Arizona.
Yes.
And UCLA won their conference by 4. If anyone deserved a number 1 seed, I think UCLA should have been in there.
Yeah, I am part of the minority that I'm just not sold on Houston yet.
Yeah?
Yeah. And like I was looking, you're down a starter and everything like that, but strong teams, you got to have that next man up kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And what I saw with that was yesterday, right? We were talking about it yesterday with Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers.
Yes.
Like the Memphis. I mean, if you want to talk about momentum, Memphis has got to be feeling damn good about themselves right now.
Hell yeah.
I mean, they look solid. It was convincing. Penny Hardaway was, I believe, Coach of the Year in the conference. And it's just a huge confidence boost for that team. Now, we look on the other side of the ball. Houston that lost. Yeah, they were down that one guy. I'm not sure what his status is for the tournament. Is he out for the tournament?
No, I think he'll be back. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, because they just really did not look as solid as they had in previous weeks, and not as solid as people have been pumping them up to be. Like, I honestly was not impressed. And if it takes one person to get you out of sorts, I don't know, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you want to be honest, if you want to look at it that way, all it takes is for one missing piece for your team to look like to change the whole trajectory of your team, and your team looks completely different. I just don't know. I don't know. And as far as like the selection goes, there are an immense number of factors. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, Mark, but when I was in Frostburg, one of my graduating projects for economics was, and I got to shout out my econ professor, Dan Mizak. Dan Mizak is like one of my favorite college professors. Dude, he was this guy from Pittsburgh, big hockey fan. He might have even have originally been from like Canada because he had that kind of Canadian kind of accent.
Yeah.
Huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan, big hockey fan, big college football fan. Dude, he had the porn stash and everything. Just a really all around cool ass dude. And I was a big sports fan. I've been a sports fan since coming out of the womb, you guys. And so it was time to figure out these projects for this, closing projects for economics. So what I came up with was, I told him, I was like, Dan, I want to do my project on college sports rankings. And I chose basketball because, basketball was my favorite college sport to follow. Right? And I mean, man, this guy, he was completely he's like, oh, this is going to be freaking awesome. Okay, so I did the research on, what it takes, what these committees, these people come up, what they do to come up with these rankings, right? And what, there, and let me just tell you guys, there's I would have to say at least 20 to 30 variables that go into account when they're trying to select, these rankings. And this is, going on throughout the whole entire year. There's wins, losses, strength of schedule, previous wins, losses, your opponent's rankings. There are all types of things that go in. And, I picked 9 variables, came up with a mathematical model, and, I tracked this data throughout the year, and it was one of the most fascinating things that I'd ever done. But it was very educational in knowing what all goes into, picking these rankings, picking these seeds for the tournament. I mean, it's a lot of work, you guys. I mean, and some of the things, there's a lot of things that we think about, as far as wins and losses, but there are so many other elements to choosing, and it's hard. It's very tough every year. But, the models that they come up with, they're extensive, and, a lot of times they don't take into consideration, they don't numerically, there's no value to, you're missing a starter during a conference championship game, or, those intangibles really aren't taken into account. So, I think that's where the discrepancies come in and all the arguments. Since people are always, they're saying those type of things. You can't quantify those things. So I just kind of want to put that point out there, that there's so many elements, variables that go into these models that crank out, these selections. And then, there's some debate that goes into it as well. But, yeah, man, I mean, we argue every year about, who actually comes out as the number ones and who got snubbed and slighted and this, that, and the third. But it's a really tough thing to do.
With your research,
yeah, sure.
that determined rankings, but for the selection committee, and there's a reason I'm asking this, how do they decide what region then they go in after they've ranked them? Who goes in the South, who goes in the West?
You know what? That's a very good question. I do not know how they choose the different regions. My research and my project was more so about, how the rankings themselves come about during the years, and then going into the tournament. But that's something that's a good question, and I think we should actually look that up and talk a little bit about that on the next show. That's a good fun fact.
I say that because there's one matchup you brought up, the team that I'm looking forward to, but also I'm kind of pissed at that they're matched up in the first round. And
what's that?
This Memphis versus FAU, 8-9.
Oh, Florida Atlantic.
Yeah,
Florida Atlantic. Excuse me.
Memphis, like you said, Penny Hardaway's been doing an amazing job down there. He's got them going.
And you can even say having them at an 8 is disrespectful.
Oh, both teams can easily get the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So to put them in the first round together, Florida Atlantic is 31 and 3 in the season. They did amazingly well. Yeah, their conference isn't as strong as other.
They got to. We are going to say that's a weaker conference, though. Which is taken into account. Go ahead.
So I'd rather see these two teams have matched up later in the tournament than the first round. It's disrespectful.
Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised to see, Memphis come in at an 8th slot. like I just said, I mean, they beat the Houston Cougs, which really is, what I said, a lot of people are saying is the best team in the country. But there are those other factors, that I talk about, and some of the things that we don't necessarily that we take for granted, that they do have to take into consideration. So, all that being said, let's talk about which one of these number one seeds are going to have they got the hardest road ahead of them. Again, for our outsiders, we got Alabama, we got Houston, we got Kansas, and we have Purdue. Which number one seed is going to struggle the most, Mark?
Given those teams, I think probably Kansas. Like, they've had some.
Hell yes, yes, my man. Let's go.
They just haven't looked good at points.
No, and you know what? They won it last year, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes, they did. And there's a stat out there for the past I believe it's like maybe 5 or 6 years. The champion winner, the next tournament, does not do well, and this has all the makings for this to happen again. Kansas, you've got, and you know what? And this is one of my, when I was talking about 16 seeds taking down 1 seed, I was specifically talking about this matchup. There are a few people out there, and myself included, that think that Howard may be able to give Kansas a run for their money.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one no matter what.
Yes, and we didn't really get to talk about it though, but that MEAC tournament was lit this year. I watched a couple of games, for real.
Yeah.
And I watched 2 Howard games. Okay, Kansas is another. They've had some off the court drama with the coaching staff, right? I believe what was that, Bill Self?
Yeah.
Didn't he have like some kind of health issues or something like that? So, and they had a kind of up and down season. I really feel like they might have some real trouble in their opening game in this western portion of the bracket. And if they do happen to get past that, there's also some other teams. A lot of people are loving Timmy and Gonzaga, and rightfully so. We talked about the UCLA and their success. I mean, there's a lot of teams here that could, easily overthrow Kansas.
Oh, for sure.
I have to agree with you. I've also said I am not completely 100% sold on Houston. But when you go to take a look at their bracket, their road is really not that difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you've got a number 2 Texas team, which is all right, but Houston can beat the brakes off of them. Xavier, they're not going to do anything. Indiana, to me, they really locked up. And you know what? Like, I think we really need to read up on how these teams get placed, because they really lucked up with their bracket. I don't know if it's because, of their conference loss or whatever, but, it just seems like they had the easiest path out of all of the number ones.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so are we also going to be in agreement with, I have another question of which number 1 out of the 4 will take the first L? Are we in agreement that it will be Kansas?
I think so. Yeah.
I think we'll double down on that. Both of them as well. Yeah. Would you like? How much time do we have left? Oh shit, we've been jamming for an hour. God, I love March Madness. Okay, let's just see this really quickly. Do you have any Cinderella teams? And when I mean Cinderella teams, like y'all, for real, this is a Cinderella team to me is like you can't give me a 6 or a 5. That is not Cinderella. You gotta be at least 7 and below. To me, I mean, is that good with you, Mark?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like you want to go a little bit lower than that? I mean, we can go lower than that.
I can't go lower than that. Can I get a 2 as a Cinderella?
No, you can't get a number 2 as a Cinderella. What did you say, yo? That burns me up when people be like, yeah, you know, number 2, number 3, that's not an unlikely hero. You know, yeah, man, it's gotta be 7 and below. I mean, just take a look at the bracket. I mean, there's a couple in there that could do something for real. But I did make it a little tough. But you know, that's what it is. 7 and below.
I did, since the selection, I've been watching a whole lot of ESPN and everything, watching the experts talk about it.
Sure.
And I've kind of been sold. I didn't really know much before, but it seems like everyone's really high up on Arkansas, number 8 seed. And
I have heard some things. Yes.
Them talking them up has pumped me up a little bit, so I have them to the Sweet 16. Probably not farther than that, but yeah, that's. If I had to pick a Cinderella, that'd probably be it.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I spoke about it a little bit earlier. You know, their division is a little tougher, but you know, I'm really big on Memphis at that 8 spot. I feel like, you know, after if they're feeling pretty good and they still got their mojo going, they could get Purdue a run for the money in that second round, yo.
Yeah.
I really think so. I mean, I just have really been impressed with what Penny Hardaway has done with their program over the past couple of years. I mean, honestly, it's been a resurgence for them in D1 basketball. And, you know, going into the tournament, beating the best team in the country, it does wonders for your confidence. And confidence does wonders for your game. So, you know, I do have that team circled. I do have that team circled as a Cinderella team. Yeah, so I guess that would be my pick. You know, I want to go Homer with Maryland, but you know, it's hard to say that they're going to beat this Alabama team. I mean, Alabama really is like a well-oiled machine. And they're looking like all of those external factors, all of the stuff going around with the controversy with these cases and stuff like that. It does not look like it's been affecting them much.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I really don't see it there. I really don't see. I don't see a team that can really challenge Alabama that I can take seriously as far as challenging them. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Memphis as my Cinderella / sleeper for the tournament. And outsiders, please, I mean, you know, feel free to drop yours in there, and we'll take notes and keep track as the tournament goes along. You know, before we close things out, is there any real long wrestling you like to report, or anything fun and interesting that you noticed over the past week that you want to chop it up on tonight?
Before that, I do want to say,
sure.
Earlier in the comments, I did notice that Harry dropped his pick for the whole tournament. And in the finals, he has Houston against Arizona. And I gotta say, he's not wrong. Like, that's exactly how I had my tournament laid out too.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I feel you, Harry. We're there. We're right
there. You know what? Let me just tell y'all right now why this is to me is bogus. Okay. All right, doesn't Harry currently live in Texas?
I believe in the Houston area.
And Marcus from Arizona. Outsiders. This shit is totally biased. Okay. Totally biased. but we will see. I mean, those are solid picks, though. They're solid picks. All jokes aside. All jokes aside. I am not ready to. I need to look over some things before I make my two picks. I will have my brackets in on time, and we will discuss what my picks are for the finals next week. But I need some more time to look at things. I need some more time to do a little more research. It's a lot of basketball being played. There's a lot of teams out there, and like I said, there's a lot of good matchups this year in the tournament.
I believe the way he's been pumping them up through the comments throughout the night that Jay Hunger might be an alum of Northern Kentucky who has their work cut out against Houston in the first round. But I think we know who Jay's going for.
Oh, Jay, I'm sorry. They're not going to make it out of the first round. So, well, we will definitely be on the lookout for that, brother. Definitely will.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, I think that's all we got for you guys tonight. I think we've talked about basketball ad nauseum. But that's what you do in this March Madness, right? So what Mark and I will continue to do is put on our best ensembles, and we will chop it up with y'all on the NCAA tournament tip. Thank you guys for showing up tonight, tuning in, sharing the link, sharing the love. You know how we end this show. Baltimore spread love, yo. We are still in the pandemic. Wash your hands, wash that ass, keep it clean. I am Keisha. On the other end of that line is my main slice of pizza, Mark. We are just a bit outside. Peace.